Good afternoon. Welcome back to Jubilee Church and our proactive. Everybody uses the name proactive parenting. I found that out. You look on YouTube, everybody's proactively parenting, but not as good as we do. I'm Johnny. This is Patrick. Oftentimes referred to as the bad cop. We do a lot of good cop and bad cop routines. I don't think this applies to the kids. I think the parents are probably the ones who think somebody's a bad cop around here.
Yeah.
When they're held accountable. But we are going to discuss our teenagers becoming adults, or how we, how you figure out when it's time for young people to take on adult responsibilities and, basically hang up their gaming equipment.
Yeah. The fear that tries to come in at this point is they're not really children anymore, but they're not really adults yet, and have a tendency or can have a tendency to be fearful of, oh my, if I let them loose a little more, what will they get into? Well, first thing you're going to have to evaluate is, how well have I trained them? Trained. You've been training, right? Proactively being a parent to handle responsibility. If you know you haven't, if you held them childish, not childlike, childish. Bad cop enough yet?
Mm-hmm.
I'm serious here. They're not ready for more responsibility, and you're in remedial territory now. But if you've been doing good proactive parenting, good training, it may be a little scary to say, yes, you can do this on your own, out of my sight. Nowadays it's, make sure you got my cell phone number dialed in and you call if anything goes on. So, if you need help, you're not on your own. But be prepared to turn loose a little more, because that's how they're going to learn more responsibility, and they need that. And they'll thrive on it. They will not be thriving on you holding them back.
There's some evidence of this. I don't know the guy that wrote it, anyway, the birth order. Guy wrote the birth order book. My eldest daughter was kind of into that because she was the eldest. She has some advantage. I like this birth order thing because that's the first one. Anyway, but it is evidenced that your eldest child will probably be your most responsible child, because they were forced to be in a normal domestic situation, because they would be helping to raise, parent, take care of, and everything else their younger siblings. And that just underscores the fact that when at even very early ages, they are given responsibilities that seem to outstrip their chronological age, it doesn't thwart them or hurt them. It actually allows them to rise to the occasion.
Yep.
Naturally with some oversight. But I'm just saying, if you never expose them to the risk of being irresponsible, then they can never rise to the occasion and be responsible.
Irresponsible. Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
they will be responsible. They will rise to the occasion and be responsible. Trust me on that. I'm a semi-poster child for that. There was 3 of us, and I was the oldest. And, there was a time when we were a little bit older that Mom occasionally was out for the afternoon, and she left me in charge. And when things happened, it wasn't, oh, little brother did or little sister did, and I could get away with that excuse. It was, you're responsible. And to this day, taking responsibility just comes naturally to me. And, it worked.
I think it would work.
Yeah.
Well, part of the culture, or the problem in our culture, is we have stretched out childhood until it's like really long. And that's being defined as young people who really don't have responsibility for anything very potentially life-threatening in their life. So they might not be responsible for their rent, their automotive insurance, even a car payment, or upkeep on a car, or the cost of their education, beyond high school or something. None of those big things have they any responsibility for.
Or even smaller things like making their own dinner.
Yeah.
Buying their own food and making it nutritious.
Yeah, there's so few things. So essentially where we'll have to get on subsequent installations here is what would be, healthy to turn kids loose on, rather than hold them back where they're not really taking responsibility for much of anything.
Yeah.